Hello, it's me again, and yes, my videos are a little bit like buses, nothing for a while and then three come along all at the same time. Yes, I've been talking a little bit about our new product, Web Access Management, but in version 9 of our Windows agent, we also have three killer features for our EPM solution. So I thought I'd give you a quick look at our new extend session feature, the malware blackout feature, and the really cool remote kill feature. So let's have a look at those. Okay then, so here's a feature which customers have been asking for quite some time. With Admin By Request, when you have these two modes of elevation. You have the run as admin per process elevation mode, then you have a time-based code, which is where you get the timer. So it's a window of time, and hence we call that a remote session. So I have set my remote session up. I've set it up with a really small window of time just to show you this feature. I think I've done it for 2 minutes. There we go. And how this works normally is you start the session like so. I'm going to get an MFA prompt, I think. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to just stick that in there like so. And then I'm going to get my code of conduct, and then, which is configurable, I've just got it turned on, and then my session will start. So I mean, I've got 2 minutes here, but I could have 15 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever. But what happens when that timer runs out is it just kind of runs out and you would have to request a new session. So that's fair enough, but the request we've had in from customers is, can I have an extension to my session? Because I just need a bit more time to install the thing I'm doing or compile the program I'm compiling. It's taken like an hour. I need 5 more minutes. I need 10 more minutes. Can I have an extension? And that's something that we've been working on, and I'm really excited to say that this is now in version 9. And one of the things that I didn't really think about when we had this feature is that one of our customers mentioned this, and that those with accessibility needs, sometimes they need more time to do things. So this actually is a really good feature to help those people as well. They just take a little bit more time to do the things they need to do. So I'm going to just finish the session, and then we're going to set up the time extension. So one thing I would say is I personally probably would have put this kind of feature here in admin session, but it's not. You will find it over in lockdown, admin session, and here is where you turn on the ability to extend. So I'm going to turn that on, and you can see here we can configure the number of extensions someone can request, and this is on a subsetting, by the way, so I can have different I can have allow extensions on for some people, not for others. I can have it give them more extensions, less extensions, and then also increase minutes. So that's all configurable by subsetting, so different settings for different groups of people or computers. And I'm going to say 2, and again just 2 minutes so I can show you the feature. So I'm going to hit save. So I should be able to request 2 extensions, each of 2 minutes long. So let's go ahead and start the session again. Okay, so I'll just stick, come on, Microsoft, good, 58. Code of conduct. Okay, so we have our session. Everything looks pretty normal. So when it gets down to with 1 minute left, we should get the prompt now to extend. And I'm going to cut this video because you don't want to wait a minute for this, so just hang in there. Okay, so now you can see we have a new dialog, and it's kind of flashes at you, so you can see that there's something happening here, and I can hit the extend button, and this is going to extend me for the first time for an additional 2 minutes. there we go. So, I could be, running procmon. Maybe I'm waiting for a, certain thing to happen, and I just need, more time to get the trace or the log that I need to run. So that's a really good, example of why I might need some more time. Okay, so I've had my first extension, so now I've been offered the opportunity to extend a second time. I'm still doing my trace, so I need more time. I'm going to click extend. So I shouldn't get any option to extend, which I don't. So I now have just a minute left to finish what I'm doing. So I am going to just close procmon and finish my session. And that is the all new session extend functionality that is in version 9 of Admin By Request for EPM for Windows. Next, we're going to have a look at the very interesting new feature, which is the malware blackout one. So this is you'll find this in the malware section, and you see here we have the option for a malware blackout period. So if I set that to 0, that's going to be essentially the default behavior that you've experienced with the EPM product up until version 9. So if I can just explain kind of what this is, basically if you were to trigger, a user were to trigger inadvertently some malware, I've got a malware simulator here, you would get the malware alert would pop up. There we go. There'd be a log that would be forwarded to your SIEM system. You get an email alert, and if you were running an admin session, the session would be taken down, and then you'd be able to look at the audit logs and all that kind of stuff. But you would then have to perform some sort of action to prevent the user on that system from continuing to do elevations on it. And you could do that. You could disown the user, you could put them in a different group, but all that kind of takes time, and this might happen kind of, who knows what hour. And really what you want is the option to have a kind of blackout period, so that if someone does trigger some malware, then there is a period of time, a buffer, where you can initiate some automation to isolate the system, as opposed to just letting them, which is the the pre-version 9 behavior of attempting another elevation. So and I think I shouldn't be able to. So I haven't got the blackout period enabled, so you can see that the previous behavior, it's now letting me go ahead and perform an elevation, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to just cancel this. And what we're going to do now is we're going to invoke the blackout period, and I'm going to just set this, I think, to the minimum value, which I think is 1. Hit save there. Okay, so now if I go ahead and invoke some the malware simulator, I've got a 1-minute blackout period. Okay, so there's the malware. And now if I go ahead and elevate Rufus, or attempt to elevate Rufus, what you'll see now is another block to say that I'm denied, and there's a pin code to override if necessary, and that will continue happening until that blackout period is finished. And if you have a look in the audit log for this computer that I'm using now for this demo, it's really good that you see the initial malware. So you got this is the malware detection, and then you see I've got the attempted blackout period, me attempting to elevate the Rufus in the blackout period. So that is absolutely super, and it's really going to be a really important feature for kind of outbreak control. I can see this really being a very useful tool in that respect. So if someone elevates a file that is malicious, they won't be able to elevate anything else until the blackout period is over. So I think that is it's a very simple feature, but it's actually going to be extremely effective at suppressing lateral spread of malware. And I haven't seen that feature on any other EPM, so I think that is pretty cool. Now then, so we're going to have a look at something which is very cool indeed. So this is the new remote kill and blackout feature in 9, and let me just show you how this works. So we go to the audit log, and let's say you've given someone the ability to elevate certain files, and it just so happens that this user decides to elevate, let's just say they want to elevate auto runs, okay? And maybe that's not really a file that you want them to elevate, but they're elevating it. Maybe they're elevating it for too long, or they're just maybe you're just not happy with. And this works for anything that is elevated, by the way. So here we go. Auto run starts elevated. You can see I've got all the kind of options here. That's fantastic. And if I was to do a refresh on the audit log, because Admin By Request gives you real-time logging and reporting, you can see here that here's my auto runs elevation on the system. And now in version 9, this is really, really cool, I now have the option to not only do kill remotely elevations or admin sessions on the endpoint, but I can also set a blackout period as well, so that user won't be able to elevate anything else until this blackout period is reset. So let me just set this to 1, and I can go kill elevations, okay? And then I'm going to get this kind of final yes or no. Do I want to do that? So I'm going to hit yes. And you will see, boom, look at that. That is just insane. And you can see here in the log, you can see I've issued the remote kill. So all this stuff is going to be logged and sent to your SIEM system. And the blackout period, that's running now. So if I try and elevate anything else, I'm going to be banned from doing it. So, and then you can see I'm also going to get logs of everything that I try to do in the blackout period as well. So, I mean, I've got absolute instant real-time control of any elevation that is being doing by anyone in the business, and I can set a blackout period to prevent any further elevations until I'm happy that I can deal with that situation. And I just think this is insanely good as a feature. The amount of control you can get. For the power hungry, perhaps maybe a bit too much control, I don't know, but it gives me great reassurance that I can be monitoring my audit log, and if there's anything that's going on that I'm not happy with, boom, off it goes. And I think that's an absolutely amazing feature. And the feature also works with admin sessions. So if I'm running an admin session and that admin session is going on too long, I'm just not happy with that user running it again, I can take that session down with the remote kill and blackout feature. Okay then, so I've shown you the new extend session feature, the malware blackout feature, and this really cool remote kill and blackout feature. So those are the 3 features we've brought to Admin By Request EPM version 9 on Windows. And I hope you can take some time to upgrade some of your endpoints to have a look at these features. But for now, that's all. And I'll see you next time. Cheerio. Bye.